So you're probably wondering what this is. So this is the Tidy Towns report from 2019. Now, I couldn't find the other one, unfortunately, from last year. But this is just pretty much this is the report now you get at every Tidy Towns group at the end of the Tidy Towns Cup, which would assume obviously we're not in the this year. But I just want to talk about the red tape in terms of getting money for the Tidy Towns group. Obviously, as a voluntary group, people don't get paid for doing it, etc., etc. And not even that, the amount of red tape, and I guess as you see here, this is just the statement, you see the amount of information, just the amount of, there's 2 pages, I can't find the other pages. But what I'm trying to say is there's an awful lot of work, and there's too much red tape, and there's too much bureaucracy. Now, I understand in terms of money before I say anything else, I know I understand in terms of grants, etc., etc. There needs to be some kind of system. You can't be just getting money for nothing, basically, without having information on what you want the money for, take for example. Like, take for example, now, we're technically an active Tidy Towns committee now. Unfortunately, we're going to disband next year. But what I'm trying to say, we've got hanging baskets, I suppose we would say, and wound, how would you call it, for ground hanging what would you call it, wound circular baskets for flowers. Like around, I don't know how the words we're getting with the words not coming to me, but you get what I'm saying. We got a grant for that, and I tell you the amount of information, the amount of things to put down, that it was ridiculous. Because you genuinely think you would have gone to one off with it, and again, it's only covered half of because we had to put the rest of it, doesn't cover it all, basically. We got €1,000 or so for it. But it wasn't really what it was better for us, needed to fundraise for it and stuff like that, because the amount of bureaucracy, we had to fill up 16 or so. Now, we're not literally 16, but we'd literally fill up what we were going to do with them, etc., etc. And it was just a load of bureaucracy, and where we were going to put them, and it was just far too much bureaucracy, and it took months for it to come through. It was just too much bureaucracy to go through. And it's the same with when you're applying for the Tidy Towns. Take for example, as any group, if you want to join the Tidy Towns, they write up an application form. It's the same if you're going for a job or into that. And to put it lightly, this year's one, the reason why we didn't join this year's one particularly, is that there's a lack of manpower. Obviously, we don't have a lot of people volunteering, etc., etc. But the other thing is, because of the amount of stuff you have to give in to apply for the Tidy Towns. Because basically, long story short, and just to explain, because there's a lot to explain. So you see all the categories up here. So in total, in total there's 470. Now it's gone up to 550. Max marks you get over different categories: community, your planning, and involvement. And particularly this one is the nuisance one, because the planning one is a nuisance. You could literally have 50 pages. You nearly need 50 or 40 pages of what you're planning to do for everything. You need to put out everything you're planning to do. So take for example, you're planning to do a garden, the community garden. You have to literally put pictures. You have to literally explain in every conceivable detail on what you're doing. In your planning, etc., etc., and basically for people that are volunteering, giving up their time, etc., etc., it's ludicrous, because at the end of the day, all these categories and all the things, it's nearly 50, 60 pages, which is ridiculous. It generally is ridiculous. Like, it's that much filling up. You think you were applying to become the president of America, the way it's going on. And I'm not even joking. Literally, we had about 50 pages. If we were going to apply this year to fill up for different things, for insurance, showing that we have insurance, we have this, we have that, we have this grant, we have another grant, we have all this, we have that, we plan to do that, we plan to do this. Like, it's just all bureaucracy, and it's hundreds of hours, and I will admit it's hundreds of hours doing up these things, because I've seen it myself. I've looked at it, I've helped in some of the situations. Apply for the grant and fill up some of the forms, etc., etc. And it's not even funny, to be totally honest, say how bad it is for you just applying as a voluntary group to join a competition. It's not like we're joining NASA or something like that. Like, it is generally just red tape bureaucracy. It's nearly need to stop people from joining, to be totally honest. Because it is a lot. And then you obviously have public spaces, green spaces. And the next thing too is the fact there's too many categories too. That's what's holding a lot of Tidy Towns groups. It's natural biodiversity. The years ago that didn't exist. Sustainability, doing more or less. Tidiness and litter obviously always was a thing. And it's just far too much. It's basically just far too much. And basically, as I say, you had to fill up like your plan and take for example. That could nearly be 20 pages. If you plan to do something big, take for example, you have to explain with photographs, with everything, saying we did this, we did that, we did the other, we did this. You had to put it down all on a piece of paper to put it in, to say that we did it, to show these people, to show the judges when they turn up that you do it, etc., etc. And it's insane. And then the amount of grants and stuff like that you have to apply for, and then it takes months and it's so much paperwork. It's just far too much. The same when I was just far too much red tape. There's no need for nearly half this red tape. Because let's be fair, you're not going to run away with 1,000. You know, let's be fair on that grant. You know, because at the end of the day, the thing was nearly 3,000 or something. We had to put the extra 2,000 or something. The community had to put that together. So basically, at the end of the day, you know, you wouldn't go to go mad on it. That's that way. You wouldn't go to run away with it. Because literally, councils and TDs can get expenses of thousands, hundreds of thousands of euro, and not even no paperwork to show for it. You know, it is funny when you think about it, because there's some councillors here who get 50,000 in expenses, and who knows what they're paying, what expenses they're talking about, because they don't show. You know. And you know, it is funny. It is generally funny when you think of it that way, because it's just all red tape, and it's, you know, it's all just bureaucracy. And you know, and again, this year's one, I'm not even. The reason why we didn't, because it was 50 to 60 pages. We had to fill up and stuff like that, and I'm sure people would agree that's stupid for people that are giving up their time, people in the community and stuff like that, to do that, and people that have lives, working lives, families. They shouldn't have to give hundreds of hours to fill up forms for tidy towns, like for tidy towns thing, and it's a thing that's going to hold towns back, unfortunately, from doing it. Too much paperwork. It's far too much paperwork, and it shouldn't be paperwork. It should be about doing the thing, not fucking having it in the writing. It's not, you know, it's not a baroque, it's not the civil service or whatever. It's a voluntary group. You shouldn't have to have fucking every document under the sun to say we did that, we did the other, we did the other. Now, obviously, with the finance, understand there needs to be some kind of paperwork and stuff. I understand. I'm sure everybody gets that. But the fact of the matter that you're planning, take for example, if you're doing a bug house, take for example, or if you're doing a community garden, you need to explain where we got this so we sustainably get it. I know that's the word economic foam term, but you know, you have to explain all this, and it's just a lot. It can go on for ages, basically, and it's just basically not worthwhile, basically, to do it, because it's just far too much. It's generally far too much, and especially for a small town. Imagine a big town, like it'd be 50 times worse. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, it's too much. It is far too much bureaucracy and red tape compared to what it was years ago. No, you should just be able to join with a few. I mean, obviously a few bits. Just explain the basics, what you did, etc., etc. Just the basic. 10 pages at most. You don't need 50 to 60. And that's what's happening at the moment. Nearly every tiny town school would say the same. There's a lot of paperwork. It's generally a lot in the 50 and 60 mark pages and stuff like that. It's insane. And it's just too much, and especially to find out, like I say, about applying for grants, it's too much. It's far too much bureaucracy and bullshit. We don't put it straight. That's just the word. It's too much bullshit, and unfortunately, we will see over the next few years. And again, it's the truth. Many tidy towns groups will decide to stop operating, will stop. Stop taking part in it, etc., etc. Not even that too. Just briefing them here. The insurance for for groups, community groups, obviously has gone up dramatically. Many I know tidy towns groups in small villages in rural Ireland. Ours was around the 230, 250 to 200 to 300, which was very good for about 10 of us or so, which was not bad. Let's put it that way. But there's tidy towns communities in the back in some parts of the country that pay 2,000 a year on insurance, you know, for going out. And obviously that isn't sustainable. I know World Economic Forum term, but you know, it's a sad state of affairs. But you know, it's unfortunate. But I've lost a lot of enthusiastic for the tidy towns in general over the last few months. To be totally honest, I will admit that. Particularly, obviously, I would say personally, obviously with the group disbanded next year, and obviously all the work I put in along with many other people too. It's sad to see it go what it is, and it does hit you a bit, you know. It does hit you enthusiastic to do anything basically in terms of it. But nonetheless, we had a good one. We'll be back probably at some stage. We try and get the goal. Maybe we see in 5 years' time we could be back at it again. So, but for the moment, it's Joe basically. Yes, Valve. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you're part of Tidy Towns group in any part of the country. What do you think of it? Because I just think, and again, the marks, it's insane too for small villages to keep up with everything. Like the max total marks in majority categories are 60 to 50 to 90. And the max you need to win it or to get over it, or no, not to get over it, but to get it, it's 470 or thereabouts. Now it's 550, this is in 2019. So every year it just keeps going up and up and up and up. And it's far too much. As we got 270 in 2019. We've done even better last year. We got 280 going on to 290, which were basically getting up. But for a small town, it's very good to get nearly 300. It's very good. I'm sure people would agree. It's very, very good. But obviously now when it keeps going up, it's gone up, as we say, by 550, and now it's probably. I didn't really look at this year, but it's about probably 600 now. So it's keep going up for different categories. It's insane. Like, it is insane. There's a lot of work, and particularly when you're volunteers too, it takes a lot of time to maintain all this. And the thing about it is, I don't like, and I will say, with the Tidy Towns groups now, it's become really a second council. They were basically doing the work for the local authorities, stuff like that, and it shouldn't be the case. I understand the community needs to do their bit too. You need to take pride in your community and stuff like that, and do a monthly clean-up or whatever, once a month or twice a month at most. But you shouldn't be doing the work for the council, because again, it's taking away jobs for people, and not even that. The local authority has to do their bit too. It can't be just all volunteers doing it for nothing. It's not fair, I'm sure people agree, because people have lives. You can't be expecting people who have to come out of a 40-hour week, take for example, to go and clean up the streets for 10 hours after on a Saturday, giving up their time, after doing a full week. You couldn't expect people to do that, especially if they have children and stuff. You couldn't expect them to do that. So again, the main thing I would say, we have to cut down the bureaucracy and the bullshit, I suppose, on it. And the one thing I would say just then, because I don't think Tidy Towns groups, people who do think voluntary in general gets enough gratitude from people. I don't think we realise that. People who go out and do it voluntary and doesn't ask for anything and does their best to keep their town better, etc., doing their bit. Regardless if it's only 5 minutes, if somebody goes out and just picks up whatever, sweeps up a few leaves on the side of the road to help out the Tidy Towns group, regardless of where it is in the country. We should be, at least, people should be thankful for them to do it, because again, only for Tidy Towns groups, the majority of rural Ireland, I'm sure you would mean, agree, and the majority of the towns and villages would be a mess, only for our Tidy Towns groups, and we have to state the fact there. But yeah, so, a huge thank you for them, but it's unfortunate, as I say, that we're not taking part. But, I just thought to make this video, because again, it's a lot of bureaucracy. Like, it's unbelievable. If you've seen the thing here, you wouldn't believe it. You think we were applying to become the biggest country in the world or something, independence or something, the document of independence or something like that. Like, it's insane. Like, it'd be that high if I showed you it. Like, and I'm not even joking. It genuinely would. That's the quite funniest thing about it.